Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So week 12 is officially in the books and the New York Jets just defeated the Chicago Bears. Final score 31-10, a massive win, a really important win to say the least. I mean, we look at what the Buffalo Bills did on Thanksgiving. It was a back and forth tough matchup with the Lions. Unfortunately though, the Buffalo Bills walked away victorious. The Miami Dolphins beat the Houston Texans today. Luckily though, the Patriots did lose to the Vikings also on Thanksgiving. But when we start taking a look at the AFC playoff picture or the divisional race within the AFC East, this was a must-win for the Jets. They had to win this game to stay relevant, to stay in the thick of things as we start to move towards the end of the season here. Every single win matters. Every win matters. Okay, this is a really close race between these four teams. And then again, when we start taking a look at wild card implications, wild card teams, we got the Bengals and the Chargers and the Patriots. I mean, this thing is wide open, wide open. So we'll see how it plays out. But this was a game, on paper, I felt like both Jets and Bears fans could probably agree the Jets, all things considered, we're probably going to win, especially when we start factoring in the Bears' injuries. No Jaquan Brisker, no Justin Fields, no Kyler Gordon. They had this weird quarterback thing happening before the start of the game where it was Simeon, then it was Nate Peterman, then it went back to Simeon. Not to mention a couple key players went down within the game. But with that said, yes, the Jets were supposed to win this game, but to go out there and see them execute, to go out there and see them play at a high level and say, you know what, the Patriots game last week was last week. It's in the past. It's not going to continue to linger on into this Sunday and be an ongoing issue. We're going to fix the offensive mistakes, and that's exactly what we saw. Mike White, are you kidding me? Another great performance from Mike White. We take a look at the numbers. He was 22 of 28, 315 passing yards with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was poised. He was smart with the football. He was constantly making good decisions. Didn't really try to force any pass. He wasn't really putting the ball in harm's way. I think that's really important. He played within the confines of the system, did not look rattled, played fearless, but at the same time, smart. Fearless and reckless, two different things. I felt like when the shots were there in like the intermediate parts of the field, like crossing patterns and whatnot, he took them and he threw passes with conviction. That is big time. That is something that we haven't really seen Zach Wilson do a lot of this season. It seems like we've seen a lot of indecision from Zach Wilson, right? Not pulling the trigger, being rushed, breaking out of clean pockets. We didn't see that stuff from Mike White today. Not at all. Jets fans wanted, this is what we're all talking about in the week leading up to this game, and even in performances where Zach Wilson hasn't really looked that sharp, all Jets fans want the same thing. Just play smart, clean, efficient football. That is what we got today. Mike White was putting it in play, controlling the clock, controlling the game. Everybody was in rhythm. By the way, it wasn't like he was just feet. Yes, Garrett Wilson had a great game. 5 catches, multiple touchdowns. That is flat out awesome. Really burst out onto the scene. But it wasn't just, I don't know where to go with the football, let me force feed a really good wide receiver. No. Mike White got 10 different players, 10 different pass catchers the football today. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. White did a really good job, and this is another thing that we've talked about, of just being the point guard, just distributing, understanding that he's not Aaron Rodgers, he's not Josh Allen, he's not Patrick Mahomes. I don't need to go out there and throw for 500 and try to force passes into double coverage and play hero ball and, rip off these crazy highlight types of plays. If I just play within the offense and get the football into the hands of some really talented playmakers like Garrett Wilson, like Elijah Moore, Bam Knight. How about Knight's performance? First opportunity to make an impact in an NFL game, and he really shines, both through the air and on the ground. Just a violent runner, hard to bring down. Totally excited about what Knight can do with this Jets offense moving forward. I'm hoping he still gets an opportunity. James Robinson, interestingly enough, was a healthy scratch. I don't know why exactly he didn't play, but you know what? Jets won 31-10. Everything was clicking on offensively. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick. It is what it is. Obviously, the Jets made a good call there. But going back to the quarterback position here, I really felt like Mike White unlocked the offense, if you will. Today really looked like the San Francisco 49ers. Today really looked like last year's LA Rams, not this year so much because they've dealt with injuries, at quarterback and whatnot, but they looked like a smart, well-oiled machine, a cohesive unit. Everybody was in rhythm. Everybody was in sync. Nobody was pointing the finger. Nobody looked upset. Nobody had a hard time picking up first downs, getting in the end zone. Whether you want to talk about consistently getting first downs, again, controlling the clock, in turn controlling the game, keeping Simeon, keeping that Bears offense off the field. I think this offense just did such a great job of just playing like themselves and not trying to do too much, just trusting the coaching staff, trusting the offensive system, trusting the offensive play calls. It was massive. Now, I do want to say this. I want to credit Chicago. To start this game off, things looked a little rocky, right? Again, all things considered, with the amount of injuries that the Bears were dealing with, understanding that this is a 3-win football team with those players that weren't hurt, right? Because these are some talented guys that Chicago is missing. The quarterback question marks, knowing also that this team does not play that well on the road. I was actually impressed with what Chicago put together in the first quarter, really the first half. They kept it close. They fought hard. That's something that we've actually seen a lot of, from this Bears team, this Eberflus-led Bears team. I really feel like next year, Chicago, they're going to make some noise. Chicago, in fact, kind of reminds me of where the Jets were a year ago, where they have a brand new coaching staff, and yes, Fields is in year 2, but he's learning a brand new offense. They have a couple of really nice core pieces, but the overall team isn't complete. They still have holes all over the place. They're entering free agency, I believe, with over $100 million in cap space. They're going to have high draft picks. I'm excited for what this Bears team is going to look like moving forward. But, I've gotten a couple messages within the last, 5-10 minutes here, basically just saying like, hey, don't get too excited. The Jets should have won this game. On paper, they're better. They're just further along than the Bears. And I agree with that. But at the same time, good football teams don't drop games like this. They don't. And the Jets did not do that today. They went out there, they handled business, they got punched in the face early on from Chicago with the early points, and they responded. They made the necessary halftime adjustments, and I think at the end of the day, the Jets were just too talented for the Bears long term. Right, early on it was back and forth, but as the game went on, you could see the depth, the talent of the New York Jets just pulled away in the end. Again, to the Bears fans out there, I know it's tough watching this team lose and lose and lose, but I do believe in Eberflus. I do believe in the vision, the direction that the Bears are going in. So big game next week. Jets at Vikings. We got the Buffalo Bills playing the New England Patriots. If we could get a similar offensive performance like we did today next week against Minnesota, which I do believe is possible. I know the Vikings have 9 wins on the season. They're 9-2, have some great W's in Buffalo, again on Thanksgiving against the Pats. But this Vikings defense has a couple weaknesses in their secondary, some stuff that you can take advantage of if you are Mike LaFleur, if you are Mike White, and some of these talented guys like Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. I cannot wait. Next week, must-watch TV. It's going to be awesome. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. The Jets advanced to 7 wins on the season. That was my threshold. That was my win total for that I kind of expected the Jets to reach by the end of the year. We're still in November 27th, and the Jets have reached that mark. We still got over a month left of football games. Cannot wait. Let me know your thoughts down below. And as always, go Jets.